My name is Coelius. I'm the CEO of Triggit. Triggit's a new emerging space, which is called the demand-side platform. And we basically are technology for buying media across the display exchanges. So we have technology that enable lead generation, brand advertisers, really anyone who wants to run display advertising, banner ads, who wants to buy media across the entire web. We have technology that enables them to look at billions of impressions a day in real time and figure out which ones, or we figure out which ones work best for them, price them, run their ads, measure performance, and constantly optimize their display advertising campaign. And work closely with a lot of the data guys here at LeadsCon. We work exclusively with display banner advertising at the moment. There's been a big change in the display space for a long time. Display is a very fragmented space. There's 400 ad networks. You can work directly with thousands and thousands of publishers. It's a pretty difficult landscape to navigate if you want to go buy media from all those different folks. And in the last year, there's been an emergence of a new solution within the industry to kind of solve for that problem, which is called real-time bidding. And so what that means is anyone who has large amounts of display inventory, so Google or companies like AdMeld or OpenX, PubMatic, guys who work directly with publishers and who've aggregated lots of inventory, they've developed with real-time bidding. They'll pass to us what an impression as it's actually occurring. So literally, as a person hits a site that Google works with, they'll actually send a message. They'll ping us and they'll be like, Triggit, here's an impression occurring on this URL. Here's the user ID. Are you interested in running an ad for this young woman or this young man? And then we basically have technology that will look at that user, pull data from our databases from companies like Targus and from eBureau and Rapleaf and Bizzo, all of our different data providers. We'll pull that up, basically use that data to figure out what we know about the user, what we know about the website where the ad is occurring, and literally this whole process happens in milliseconds. We'll then say, okay, for Orbitz, this is a great customer. We think this is a good fit. We'll bid a $2 CPM for the ability to run an ad in front of this user.
Wow, what happens if that comes in while like you're at lunch?
Say that again?
If you're at lunch, does the advertiser just miss out?
No.
So computers do this, or people at a desk?
No. So the entire process takes about 300 milliseconds round trip. So literally, I mean, you can think about it as you as a user are hitting a website. Actually, you're probably looking at this on the web. When you came to this site, there literally were servers all across the country communicating about you and what we know about you and what we know about the pages that you're looking at. Before the page had even loaded, we'd already decided what you were worth, figured out, there'd been probably dozens of people bidding on you. And
Am I on a webcam or anything?
No, not yet.
That's good.
Not yet. Biometric feedback is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to get you all hooked up so we can see how well you respond.
So we met the guy earlier today or yesterday that will give you, like in a millisecond, like who your friends are.
Yep.
What books you've recommended, etc. You could API into him just as well as anything else, right?
Yeah, so we work with a number of the different social data providers.
That's what that's called?
Rapleaf is one of our partners.
He's the guy.
It might have been Oren. Okay, great. So Oren has amazing data about users all over the web.
3 cents a user, I think he said, about it. It's pretty cheap.
It's really cheap, yeah. And it's very powerful. I mean, you can use that data to target individuals who are really interested in the product. I mean, I think the best way to understand what's happening in the display space is it used to be you'd buy ads because you're trying to advertise on a site, or you'd advertise on a keyword or some context that you're trying to reach. You were trying to abstract what is out there on the web, and you're like, oh, I think that website will work well for my advertisers. But we've kind of flipped it finally, where we're at the point where you can work with a guy like Oren at Rapleaf or the eBureau or the Targus guys and go in and say, I want to reach moms who buy Pampers and live in the suburbs and make a certain amount of money, and I want to target just those people. And basically, you can use that data, and you can provide that data to Triggit as part of those partnerships to go out and then run advertising just on those users. So instead of having to abstract and say, hey, I think the soccer moms go to this website, you can just say, hey, I just want to buy impressions for the soccer moms
where they go.
All across the web, wherever they go.
And so what about the idea before, when you just don't know exactly where your guy's coming from? It was usually trash and sold 3 times, and you really need to know your website, and premium stuff let you know it's going to be on trails.com or the Playboy channel.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter anymore because you're cleaning up the data and you're only getting the stuff you want.
Well, I mean, for some of our advertisers, it really matters where you are. We have big brand advertisers that are very sensitive to that. And so we provide complete transparency into all of the available sites that are available on the exchanges and complete transparency throughout the process so they can see where the ads are running, what's happening, all the results. And so for those clients, we let them actually go in ahead of time and pick to just show up on Trails.com, just show up on Men's Health.
Or not to show up on Maxim.
Or not to show up on Playboy, or not to show, actually we don't get to see a lot, we don't see the porn, but we see a lot of the internet. We see 100,000 different websites on a daily basis. So you can really pick and choose, or you can say, I want to run everywhere but not in this type of site. And yeah.
How small an advertisers can you be?
So we have a self-serve platform that we make available to advertisers. So if you're spending single-digit thousands of dollars a month, we'd be happy to work with you.
So typically you're going to be somewhere in the 5 to 10,000 range before it makes sense to do it?
Yeah, I mean, we work with large advertisers. Typically we work with guys who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or more. But the great thing about what the system that we've built is it's highly automated. It's very simple to use because we're kind of lazy. We do the work ourselves, and we wanted it to be easy from the very beginning. And so we've gotten to the point where we can make that system available to individual advertisers to use themselves.
At some point, it'll be like AdSense. You can buy $200 a month when you get it.
That's the hope. The hope is to make it really easy to use.
So it's funny because I've talked to all these different layers. Are you like the first layer of contact? If you go through you, then you will run it through the right exchanges and through the right data clearance. And if I want to know if their favorite color is brown and who their favorite, if they like Tom Clancy, you're the guy.
I like to think
somebody else, but it could be you.
I like to think about it not so much as layers, but as sort of in the puzzle. The role that we fit is we take all of the data that you may accumulate and all of the conversions that happen and all of the clicks, and we match that up with media. We match that up with the user. So we basically are the layer that touches the user at the closest point. Well, there's an exchange between us and the user, but it's a little point.
Right.
But basically, we're the point that gets you access to the media.
And then you can use Targus, or
Yes.
guys that do stuff like Targus.
Yes.
And you can use the guys like that we talked about a second ago.
Rapley.
Yeah, like Rapley.
Yeah. It's
and if another guy comes out that's better tomorrow, you can have his stuff just as quick. And you're adding as many as you can all the time.
Yep. So we work with all of the different inventory sources. So we work with on the display, on the media side, we work with Google, PubMatic, AppNexus, OpenX,
Yahoo,
AdBright.
Right Media.
We don't work with Right Media at the moment. They haven't yet rolled out a real-time API. But we look at billions and billions of impressions a day, and it looks like within a couple months that'll be like 30 billion ad impressions a day. So
you've got how many now? 3.
Well, we do about 3.5 billion a day.
And it's going to be up to 30 in a month.
A couple months. It's moving really fast.
And this is
the
just
space
you'll
is
have
blowing
access,
up.
because this makes sense.
Yeah,
so basically you got just who's going out and signing up all these publishers? Are they just hearing about it now and adding on their
so most of the publishers come through existing ad relationships. So AdSense, for instance, all of the AdSense publishers are now available through Google. So if there's an AdSense ad on the page, I can buy that impression.
So is it true that maybe there's 75 or 100 ad networks that are like 80, 90% of all impressions? Is that what the idea is?
Well, really, in terms of, I think most of the major impression volume actually sits on the biggest sources of inventory: Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Fox, Facebook. They control the vast majority of inventory on the web. But the great thing is that now with real-time bidding, they've made all of that inventory available in a transparent way to guys like me, so that I can work for my clients and figure out exactly what pieces of their inventory work best for my clients in the most effective way.
It's a great idea.